Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name's Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. Beginning in northeast Nebraska, where authorities are looking for a missing child. The Knox County Sheriff's Office says 12-year-old Holden Duncan was reported missing on Monday. Sheriff's officials say Holden was last seen getting off the bus by Crofton High School. He has sandy brown hair, is 4'3" and about 80 pounds. He was last seen wearing a black long-sleeve Under Armour shirt, black sweatpants, and black Nikes with white swooshes. Anyone who has any information should call the Knox County Sheriff's Office. In other news, Secretary of State Antony Blinken visiting areas of the Middle East this week. He's in Israel Tuesday, pushing for a ceasefire agreement in wake of the recent death of Hamas's leader. But as Amy Kiley reports, experts seem skeptical that Israel and Hamas will come to the table.
It does open perhaps the door just a bit.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Israel today. His department says he hopes the death of Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar will prompt Israel and Hamas to negotiate.
We feel strongly that there is an opportunity to move the ball forward as it relates to getting a ceasefire accomplished.
Many analysts seem skeptical Blinken will secure a deal. They say it could be difficult for Hamas to negotiate during a transition, and there's no guarantee a new leader would want peace.
Operationally, it doesn't change much. Hamas will put someone else in his place. They won't announce who he is, so he can't be targeted effectively, but the war will continue.
Meanwhile, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu saying nothing would deter his country's fight against Hamas and vowing to push forward until the end.
I don't hold out too much hope, but, events on the battlefield do affect diplomacy.
The State Department says Blinken's trip is worth the effort. It says a ceasefire is in the best interest of the U.S., the region, and those in Gaza.
Nobody in the U.S. government is going to stand in front of you and say that we are satisfied or find the humanitarian situation in any part of Gaza satisfactory.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Rain finally arrived on much of Nebraska Monday. This coming as much of the state has been dry since this summer. On July 9th, nearly 80% of Nebraska's counties were completely drought-free. As of this week, all 93 of Nebraska's counties are in some level of drought, with over half in a severe drought, if not worse. This rain likely won't help too much. The highest rainfall totals Monday came from towns like Beaver City and Arapahoe, who clocked in over 0.4 of an inch. The city of Norfolk has approved a funding agreement with North Fork Area Transit in the amount of $125,000. The city will be making two separate payments of $62,500 each. This comes as North Fork Area Transit had to temporarily close down last year after its former manager, Jeffrey Stewart, was arrested, convicted, and eventually sentenced after embezzling money from the company.
There's been a few changes to the agreement, but nothing that I would say is that significant. We still have all the reporting requirements. We've got any changes to service. They have to give us reasonable notice to those things. So we worked with them through this process pretty well, I think, to get this, what I think is a pretty good agreement. So.
NFAT board members said the funds are strictly for cash flow purposes. They say the finances will keep additional services moving into the next fiscal year. In the past, the city had been set for 4 separate payments with the company. The measure passed unanimously. The city says they'll now look to come to a new agreement before the end of the next fiscal year in September of next year. Well, anyone who'd like their name or business featured on Valentine's new convention center could have it for the right donation. This week, the team behind the planned facility met to strategize fundraising efforts. Casey Wannenberg has the details.
This land right here near Highway 20 coming into Valentine could be the site of a new convention center. As News Channel Nebraska reported earlier this year, Cherry County Commissioners and Mid-Plains Community College signed an interlocal agreement to build the center next to the college. The team has now approved a design for the approximately $4.75 million facility. Today, the group also talked about raising $3.25 million of that through grants and fundraising. That includes donors getting the chance to name the building, the lobby, or a meeting room.
It's going to give the communities within Cherry County an opportunity, the individuals, to maybe create a lasting legacy with an opportunity to name the facility or put your name somewhere within the facility.
County and city leaders have been talking about building a convention center for years. The money the county is contributing has already been set aside through a promotional fund generated from lodging taxes. Leaders want to make sure people know that county tax dollars will not be used for the project. Meanwhile, Mid-Plans will pay for the maintenance and upkeep of the building once it's built. In Valentine, Casey Wannenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
To politics now, Vice President Kamala Harris receiving some unconventional support in her race for the White House. Republican former Wyoming Representative Liz Cheney campaigned with Harris in several key battleground states. Our Washington correspondent Julia Benbrook gives us a look at the latest developments in the race.
An unlikely duo on the campaign trail. Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee for president, and former Representative Liz Cheney, who not that long ago was one of the top Republicans in the House of Representatives. The pair traveling to suburban counties in key swing states Monday. Cheney, a staunch conservative, voted to impeach Donald Trump, was primaried and ousted. She's a part of a growing group of Republicans who have said they believe the former president is a threat to democracy.
You have to choose in this race between someone who has been faithful to the Constitution, who will be faithful, and Donald Trump.
The Harris campaign views these appearances as a way to reach undecided and persuadable voters. Just last week, Harris rallied alongside more than 100 Republicans who have backed her candidacy.
No matter your party, no matter who you voted for last time, there is a place for you in this campaign.
Part of the group she's trying to reach, those who supported former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley in the Republican primary. Despite her blistering criticism of Trump, Haley endorsed him after dropping out of the race and spoke in support of his candidacy at the Republican National Convention.
She's supported me, and we had a great primary. It was an unbelievable primary. It was the fastest anyone's ever gone.
Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Meanwhile, voters in Hastings will have a chance to learn more about their local candidates for office on Wednesday. News Channel Nebraska partnering with the Hastings Area Chamber of Commerce to broadcast a Hastings Candidate Forum. It starts at 7 p.m. on Wednesday at the Hastings Museum. It'll feature candidates for city council and mayor. Residents can submit questions in advance by emailing them to candidateforum@hastingsne.com. The event's free to attend, scheduled to last until 8:30 p.m. Well, bands are supposed to hit the right notes, but it's always nice when a band you hire to play an event has a song that strikes a chord with an audience. It's even better when that connection comes about by accident or good fortune. Beatrice nonprofit EVATS held their annual fundraiser over the weekend. EVATS hired a Lincoln band called No Drinking on Grounds to provide some atmosphere. Well, the two groups didn't really know each other, only through social media. So along with a set of cover songs, when the band unveiled an original track about veteran suicide, everyone involved felt it was the perfect song to tell the story of the day.
We don't want people to think that they're all alone and by themselves. Like, look around. Everybody that was here at this event, almost 200 people that were out here, are standing here today to stand next to every single one of you to say, we want you here. Stay.
This group is not for me, it's for them. They've done so much for us that the least, some of us can do is give back and saying, hey, we're here for you. We are giving these resources to you. Let's utilize these. We can do this together. You can do it on your own. That's fine too, but it's for them, the ones that did give it all.
EVATS is a group that shines light on the issue of veteran suicide and helps to connect veterans and their newfound communities with one another. And a Northeast Nebraska art gallery hosted a pop-up cat cafe over the weekend. It was the third in a series of 4 cat cafes that the Blue Cat Gallery has hosted in Wayne over the past month. All the funds raised go toward 2 separate cat rescue operations in Wayne County: Crazy Cat Lady Life and Carol and Winside Wayward Cats in Winside. All the cats at the event were provided by those shelters. Both nonprofits coordinate spaying, neutering, and vaccinating community cats while also facilitating adoptions.
I mean, I'm sure that across the nation there's need for taking care of community cats, and so because we are a less populous state, a less populous area, I think there's benefit to different groups banding together that have the same goal.
Albrecht also raised money for the shelters earlier this year by organizing a pet portrait fundraiser. Albrecht teaches art at Wayne State College and coordinated several local artists to create portraits of people's pets, with all the money going to the cat rescue operations. The next pop-up cat cafe will be held at Blue Cat Gallery on Saturday. And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.